The HOA president called the cops on me right on my own driveway. She screamed that I was an intruder, claimed I was unstable, and demanded I be arrested in front of my 8-year-old daughter. And when the police showed up, the last person she ever wanted to see walked out of my cabin and changed everything. Act 1. The conflict begins. My name's Ethan Rodriguez, 37 years old, veteran single dad. After Iraq, I wanted one thing: a quiet life with my daughter Sophia. My grandfather left us a cabin in Pine Ridge, Colorado, built it himself 30 years ago. That place isn't just wood and nails, it's our anchor. I came back from a short business trip to Denver one day early. Figured I'd surprise Sophia, take her back to the cabin where she always felt closest to her great-grandfather. She'd been having nightmares again, clutching her old teddy bear like it was the only thing keeping her safe. I pulled up suitcase still in hand, and that's when it started. This woman, Veronica Peaton, the HOA president, came storming across the yard. Blonde bob haircut, crisp white shirt, clipboard in her hand like it was a weapon. She looked me up and down and yelled, "Get out of that cabin before I call the cops." I blinked, confused. "Excuse me." She wagged her clipboard like it was a badge. "This property has been seized by the Pine Ridge HOA. You're trespassing and I'll have you thrown in jail." I laughed at first. Then I realized she was dead serious. Behind me, Sophia stirred in the back seat, rubbing her eyes. "Daddy, who's that mean lady?" she whispered, holding her teddy tighter. My heart broke right there, but I forced a smile and told her it was nothing. It wasn't nothing. Veronica announced that the cabin had been abandoned, that we owed landscape fees, and that a new buyer was already waiting to take possession. Total lies. I pulled up the deed and tax records on my phone, tried to show her. She wouldn't even look. Then, and this is what still makes my blood boil, she looked down at my daughter and sneered. "Little girl, stop clutching that stuffed animal. This is a business transaction." That's when she dialed 911, nice and loud, so the neighbors would hear every word. "We have an unstable veteran refusing to vacate HOA property. He has a child with him. We feel unsafe." It was like watching a play she'd rehearsed in front of her mirror 100 times. And the audience was gathering. Neighbors peeked out their doors. A guy across the street set up a camera, live streaming the whole thing. By the time the police cruiser screeched to a stop, Veronica was already pointing at me like she'd caught a criminal. "Arrest him," she demanded. And that's when the cabin door opened. Heavy footsteps echoed across the porch, and a voice boomed out. "Who just called my grandson an intruder?" The entire street went silent. Veronica froze, and for the first time I saw fear cross her face. Act 2. Escalation and Turning Point. Out stepped Judge Theodore Teddy Blackstone, my grandfather, Sophia's great-grandfather. Silver hair, towering presence, a man who could quiet a courtroom with just one glance. Only this wasn't a courtroom. It was his own porch, his own family, and he was furious. Veronica stumbled backward, clipboard shaking in her hand. Officer Gonzalez, the cop who had just arrived, snapped to attention. Even Detective Sarah Chen, who pulled up moments later, recognized him instantly. The judge didn't waste time. He told everyone he'd been investigating irregular HOA property transfers for months. He'd seen bribes, fake violations, forced sales. And he had evidence. Veronica's mask cracked. Her confidence turned to venom. She hissed at one of her own board members, Bradley Hutchinson, who had just walked up, looking sick to his stomach. "Keep your mouth shut," she warned him. But Bradley couldn't. He turned to the detective, voice shaking, and confessed. He'd been keeping records. He couldn't stomach it anymore. The HOA wasn't enforcing rules, they were stealing homes. My heart pounded as I listened. It wasn't just my family. They'd been targeting widows, veterans, elderly neighbors, people least able to fight back. That night after the officers left, I sat with Sophia inside the cabin. She held her teddy, and in the dim light she asked, "Daddy, why can't we fight back? Mommy wouldn't let anyone be mean to us." I didn't answer right away. Truth was, I was tired, exhausted. And for a moment I thought maybe Veronica was right. Maybe I couldn't protect this place. Maybe I'd lose everything, the cabin, our history. Sophia's only tie to her mom and great-grandpa. That's when the fear nearly won. But then Sophia looked up at me with those big brown eyes, and I realized this wasn't about me being tired, it was about her future. If I gave in, what would I be teaching her? That bullies win if they scream loud enough, that lies erase truth. No, not in my house. I clenched my fists and whispered to her, "We fight back, no matter what." Act 3. Climax and Justice. The next day, everything boiled over. FBI agents arrived in black SUVs, Special Agent Rebecca Walsh leading the charge. They'd been tracking multi-state property fraud, and Veronica's HOA was a hub. For a second, I thought it was over. Veronica was cornered agents everywhere, evidence piling up. But cornered animals are dangerous. She lunged toward Sophia. "If you arrest me, this child loses her house forever," she screamed, blocking my daughter like some twisted shield. My chest seized. Officers froze, hands hovering over weapons. One wrong move could put Sophia in danger. But Sophia didn't flinch. My little girl stepped forward, unfolded a worn piece of paper from her pocket, the letter her great-grandfather had written her before he passed. In her clear, steady voice, she read, "This house will always be yours. Homes are made of love and memories. Nobody can ever take that away from you." Her words cut through the chaos like sunlight through storm clouds. The neighbors gasped. Even Veronica faltered. For 1 second I saw doubt flash in her eyes, but it vanished, replaced by fury. "Sentimental letters don't override legal documents." She spat. "This property is mine." That's when Judge Blackstone stepped forward. His voice thundered with the authority of 30 years on the bench. "What you've done isn't law, Mrs. Peaton. It's predatory fraud. And it ends here." Special Agent Walsh moved in. "Veronica Peaton, you're under arrest for conspiracy, fraud, extortion, and racketeering." Handcuffs clicked around her wrists. She thrashed, shouting about lawyers, about power, about how this wasn't over. But no one was listening anymore. The live stream camera caught every second, 10,000 viewers watching justice unfold in real time. And just like that, the woman who had tried to steal my family's home, who had terrorized half the neighborhood, was powerless. I didn't cheer. I didn't smile. I just pulled Sophia close, my hand steady on her shoulder. Because in that moment, I finally knew she was safe. Final lesson. Bullies win only when we stay silent. Stand up even shaking, and they fall.